Dearly beloved, we are gathered here today to watch football, not get married. What are we doing here?
I've gotten a lot of baby powder. People are like, man, what'd you get out of baby powder for? I think I'm going to have to smack the hell out of a lot of people this year. I just can feel it.
Hold on. The only thing you should be getting married to in the fall is football.
That's right, y'all. No weddings in the fall. The show that helps you rekindle your love back with football. We are back for week 2. What a week 1 it was. Let's get our introduction started. Welcome to the studio. First guy to my left, Justin Jesus Herrera. Oh, you're on mute, buddy.
Oh, yeah. So that's how you started out right there. It can only go up from there. But glad to be here.
Glad to have you here, my friend. Bringing that energy as usual. Ben, the big dog, Troupe. Welcome in, my friend.
Always good to be on with you fellas, man. And look, football is back. I mean, my wife, I'm getting on her nerves. She like, you be yelling, or, I just be yelling, random different things throughout the house. Man, look, when you talk about football on Saturday, football on Sunday, football on Monday, and man, they don't get better than that. Let's do it.
Yeah, no, I feel you with that. It's so funny you say that because I'll say something, my wife will be like, "What'd you say?" I was like, "Oh, I'm talking to the TV."
Yeah. I saw you in the midst of the Eagles Cowboys game. I said, "God, just sees, man." I said, "Look, man, the commissioner living the life these days, man.
Living it up. That's all wifey. I'm not. I gotta give it some time there. All right, well, let's pay the bills real quick. If you're watching on YouTube, do us a solid. Give us a like, throw your comments in. Of course, subscribe to the channel. Little things stopping you from doing it. Big things popping for us when you do, so we appreciate you. Also, don't forget, go to Fast Trap app. Use the promo code Troupe. We're going to double your deposit for $50, $100. Play daily fantasy. Nothing better. And if you're looking for some championship bling for your fantasy champion, look no further than Pro-Am Belts. All right, we had a lot of action. A little bit of college, a lot of bit of NFL. So let's talk about the week on repeat.
And now to football scores with the boys from No Weddings in the Fall with the week on repeat.
All right, we'll start out with the big game of the weekend. I mean, pretty much the only big game of the weekend, but it was the Oklahoma Sooners winning 24-13 over the Michigan Wolverines. Real quick, I just thought it was funny. I don't know if this was how it's pronounced, because honestly, I don't remember hearing them call his name. But for Oklahoma, the quarterback, Mater. Is that like a perfect Oklahoma name? I don't know how else to say it. John Mater, 270 yards passing on the ground, 1 TD, did throw a pick, but the big dog, 74 yards on the ground and 2 TDs. What a game for him. Bryce Underwood was a little underwhelming with just 142 yards in the air, 9 for 22 as well. Justice Haynes on the ground, however, 125, 1 TD, big game for him as well. So let's get your takes. Ben, we'll go to you first. What was your take on this one? What'd you think?
I think you just said it all. Everybody wanted the young boy to jump in there. And you know he's going to be good down the stretch. I'm not going to blame him with one game. Bryce Underwood was originally supposed to go to LSU. He chose to go to Michigan on national assignment. He's a Detroit kid. What does a Detroit kid know about Louisiana? Nothing. Doesn't know where it is on the map. Couldn't look at it. Couldn't point to it. So kids from Michigan, they either go to Ohio State or Michigan, or they stay in that area. Brent Venables, the head coach of OU. I'm telling you guys, this guy used to be the defensive coordinator under Dabo Swinney at Clemson. He wanted to bring defense and a mentality to OU, and they did it. I know it was a game. It was a night game. Everybody thought, oh, this isn't the same Michigan team. They're gonna be good when Underwood gets it. Like you mentioned, he was underwhelming. When he gets it together, it's gonna be. He gonna have revenge on his mind. But for one night, ain't nobody going to hold them to that. OU is in the SEC. They know we got to stack wins with this gauntlet coming. But, yeah, it was all about OU taking nothing away from them boys from Michigan. But, yeah, I knew Underwood was going to be good. But the lights get real bright. And he's just real young. He got to figure out his way, but he'll be all right. I think he'll be fine.
Yeah, it got to be tough when, the whole nation's watching you for sure.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Justin, what did you think of the game?
Yeah, he's just a freshman. Freshmen go through ups and downs, peaks and valleys, and he's got nothing there. I mean, Justice Haynes is a nice guy. He came from Alabama, but really he got kicked out of Alabama because, guys like A.K. Deere are going there. Just better players overall are going there. So, I can't blame him. He's got Michigan back on the map, which is important for, I guess, college football in general.
Yeah, 100%. And he, like I said, we saw Archie Manning struggle a little bit, knowing the lights were on last week as well, or maybe for other reasons. But we saw that little bit of struggle when the lights come on. Some players got it, some don't. We'll see if you can bounce back from that. That's the important thing anyway. I hate to bring this one up to you, Ben, but yes. And Justin, props to you, my friend, because you're the one who brought this game up, because I was like, we even go talk about this. But how about the South Florida Bulls, now 18th ranked in the nation, 18-16 over those Gators? Byram Brown. Sorry, this is kind of tough to say. 263 in the air, 1 TD. He also carried for 66 yards. So had a decent game there. DJ Lagway, 222 yards, 1 TD, threw a pick, unfortunately. So let's go to Justin first. I want to hear Ben after. Let's go to Justin. What do you think of this game?
Yes, I didn't know this until I went in the background of it. South Florida is an interesting little thing here. So Coach Golesh, about 4 years ago, took over South Florida, and South Florida at that time was sharing facilities with other teams. They weren't on a meal plan, and they only had $250,000 to offer NIL deals for players. Now they have actual facilities. They have meal plans for their guys, 3 meals a day. They have all this stuff that they transferred, and they changed over the program just from this coach coming in. You obviously see it. These players are playing hard for him. And right now, he's looking like he's going to sweep out Florida right now, the great state of Florida, because he might whoop up on those Hurricanes this week. And you shake your head. I don't think Carson Beck is for real. I know Byram Brown is for real. That dude is going to make it happen. He's going to put the team on his back, though.
Definitely legit, although I don't like the Canes talk. Listen, it's the only team I got right now, so that's why I'm shaking my head. By the way, Philly...
You're an Eagles fan now, right? You're all decked out.
Damn right. Loud and proud. Go Birds! Philly. Speaking of Philly, I'm glad you brought that. You know how to segue. Our boy Philly Mike just brought us some breaking news. It's Jerry Jeudy is officially a Kansas City Chief. Once again, big fake news from our boy Philly Mike, who loves to throw.
That was beautiful.
You got me the first time, Philly Mike. You ain't getting me no more, bro. But I appreciate you coming in tonight. Ben, what'd you think of your Gators?
Unfortunately, I've been around Billy Napier for 4 years now, and that's kind of been his moniker since he's been there. I mean, I'm never ever gonna call USF lesser opponents. I respect USF, FAU, FIU, Bethune, fam. I respect them all. But this was bound to happen at a certain point. Here's why. The last time Florida played USF, they lost by a field goal. If they kicked the field goal, they beat them the last time that night. USF can finally say they've done all three. They beat Florida State in 2000. They beat Florida State. No, they beat Miami in 2009, Florida State in 2010. Now they got Florida in 2025. As a person that lived in Tampa when I was with the Bucks, this is huge for that team for this reason. They're never ever gonna be seen in the same, like as Miami, as Florida State. But this is what you can say. Hey man, you come here, we get to play these schools. We get an opportunity to potentially beat these schools. So I'm not gonna downplay it. DJ Lagway didn't play his best. The team didn't play their best, but that USF said, look, Florida had the ball. 2 minutes and 40 seconds left, on the 40-yard line going in, and you did nothing with it. Then you got the ball back again, and you took, 10 seconds off the clock? I said, Florida is setting this thing up for USF to win. So shout out to them Bulls. My Gators going to have to bounce back in a big way because they got LSU at night on the road. But, hey, man, it's college football. I think the parity in college football has changed. You got really, really good teams across the board. Just because you're a bigger brand don't mean you're going to win. And yes, I mean, if you're a betting man, you lost a lot of money on Saturday dealing with my Gators. That's why I do not bet, because as soon as I do, I'm gonna lose some cheese. Then I'm gonna be yelling and screaming for the right reason. My lady gonna be like, "What's wrong with you?" Nothing, because that parlay didn't hit the way I thought it was gonna hit. But no, shout out to the Bulls, man. I think that this is me. This is me being far removed from the game saying, look, I can see it for what it is. You know who I want to win. It didn't go that way. And all the people on X, listen, I talk about the Gators. I don't work for Florida. So people thinking, man, you want to say positive stuff because you work for UAA. I don't work for the Athletic Association. I don't work for Billy Napier. I don't work for Florida. I can say what I want, when I want, how I want, and I'm gonna keep doing it how I want. So if you don't like what I'm saying on X, all you gotta do is hit the unfollow button because y'all all this X strength y'all got these days. I'm talking about these Twitter fingers. I still call it Twitter. Man, I ain't going back and forth with none of y'all. I'm just telling y'all, if y'all think the players don't want to win, some of us have never done anything significant in our life. I'm gonna keep saying this. If you're a guy, get you a girlfriend. If you're a lady, find you a boyfriend. Stay off my live and stay off my DM talking trash, man. Because Florida get heated when you say anything positive after a loss. I say, well, it's Billy Napier. I mean, until he proved he is 20-20 in the SEC. I mean, what you think gonna happen? We'll see. Because after this Saturday night, if it don't go well, meaning not saying you got to win the game, but if it's a blowout, it's gonna be some rumblings around games, man. You got too much talent down there right now to be not playing well. So we'll see.
Hey Ben, let me ask you something real quick. This is my question for Ben Troupe of the day. How'd you get ready for LSU? How did you guys get ready for LSU?
And I'm not gonna lie to you. We were a different team back then because when I first got to Florida, we had Coach Spurrier. I got Coach Spurrier's last 2 years. So
right.
I played LSU 4 times. We went 3-1, and the only time I lost to him was Ron Zook's first year. They came to Florida, and they beat the brakes off of us. But I also went to LSU my senior year, which was Chris Leak's freshman year. I was 21, he was 18, and that's the only game they lost that year. They won the national championship. They lost 1 game. So LSU was different for me because I was more of a Florida versus Auburn guy. LSU, we've been going back and forth LSU for a long time. But LSU, as of late, has gotten real good because you talk about Joe Burrow, you talk about Jaden Daniels. That's 2 Heisman Trophy winners that you had to deal with, but you still got to play well. Because let me tell you something, LSU wants to embarrass Florida. They don't want to win. They want to embarrass us, but there is nothing like Death Valley. I've been to Tennessee. I've been to Florida State. I've been to Miami. I've been to Arkansas. I've been to Auburn. LSU, like nothing against the Death Valley and Clemson. I know they call it Death Valley. But ain't nothing there but Death Valley and Piggly Wiggly. That's it. Ain't nothing in Clemson but that. But LSU, man, you better get your mind right, man. That student section is real, and they got a real tiger too. Now he in a cage, and they fake poking. Because when I went over there, I said, "There's a tiger in that cage." I said, "Y'all better roll him out of here. I'm not playing with that dude over there because if he get out, he ain't gonna get me. I will not be in the back. I promise." But yeah, LSU is. I mean, Ryan Clark's of the world. I played against a bunch of great LSU guys, man. But I want Florida to get a dub because we need one in the worst way. I'm sorry LSU got to be who we trying to get because USF, boy. If you are a current Florida Gator right now on campus at Gainesville, man, go to class and go home. Don't talk trash to nobody because there's too many of them out there talking trash. And if you are a USF Bull, have your moment. Talk your trash. We shouldn't have let them win. So don't get mad at me. Don't shoot the messenger. Yeah,
I think the administration at LSU maybe not have heard of Sigmund and Freud. They better tighten the hell up. Daniel, happy Wednesday to you, my friend. Thank you for joining us and leaving your comment in. We appreciate you. All right, last one to wrap it up for the college. The Iowa State Cyclones struggled against the Iowa Hawkeyes. 16-13 was the overall score. I would give you some highlights, but I mean, Rocco Beck was 134 yards and 1 TD. It was probably the biggest highlight of this game. So Ben, what's your thoughts on this game right here?
Yeah, you said it was a slugfest. It was very much a snooze fest. When you have a rivalry game that played this early, it's like when Louisville used to play Kentucky the first game of the year. Listen, the Cyclones, they get the win. It was ugly, but it goes back to what I be saying. Certain brands of football, you got to be used to it. Iowa State, man, look, that's why they invented beer. That's why they invented liquor. That's why they invented a lot of stuff. Because you have to sit down. There are people that have to call these games, sideline reporters. They have to do post-game, pre-game. That's rough, man. And I respect it. Once again, I respect Iowa State. I respect Iowa. But man, ain't nobody trying to watch no Iowa State no second week of the season, man. I mean, let's be honest, like, dude, this all we got. Like, you go to the bar and somebody went to a bar in the Southeast and said, "Hey man, y'all got Iowa State?" Like, really? Man, put it on this TV in the corner, bro. We ain't putting it on the big screen. We're not doing this to our customers. We're trying to make them enjoy the experience, man. You're gonna make our wings taste bad.
I'll do you one better. Ain't nobody trying to watch that late in the season either. So
exactly, Iowa State. I mean, and I get it. Listen, to the Iowa State people that's gonna be watching this podcast, they're gonna be like, Ben, you're a hater. Am I? Let's
be real.
Does it even rank on the rivalry games? It'll rank like 30, 31. I can name 30 games that's rivalry games that's better than that. Don't get me started, man. Army, Navy, the Egg Bowl, Florida State. You talk about Texas, Oklahoma. Man, stop it. It's Iowa State. And some great Iowa Hawk guys. Shout out to Bob Sanders, who got drafted with me, who was defensive player of the year. Dallas Clark, Noah Fant, George Kittle. So they got some players. But it's Iowa. Let's just call it. It is Iowa. They look like the Pittsburgh Steelers. They colors and versus the Cyclones.
Justin, are you an Iowa State guy?
Yeah, I like Iowa State because I really liked what Iowa State's bringing. I think that this is a team that could be a playoff team down the line. I like the little intricacies. I always love a rivalry game, and this is always one of those games where it's just like it's kind of like the gateway game. If you can get by this game, then you have a serious chance to make it 10-2, go to a bowl game. And I really like this kid, Rocco Betch. I think he's got enough talent to be a possibly high-level quarterback at the NFL at the next level. So, you know, that was one of the main reasons I really wanted to follow this game, because this was one of those statements. It's going to be tough. It's going to be gritty. It's going to be hard to watch. It's going to be hard to call. If you don't like defense, you just want to watch people score touchdowns, this is not the game for you. You should click on to Ohio State versus whoever the hell they're playing. But if you want to watch two teams that really, really don't like each other and are going to be gritty, Iowa State. That's always a good one.
The last one I'll just bring up real quick is only because I was up in Pennsylvania, so they had the Penn State FIU game on since you brought them up earlier, Ben. I got to tell you, FIU was really taking it to Penn State for the first half of that game. So the score, I don't think really reflected it. But there was a really good catch in that game too. So anyway, so just if you want to check out those highlights, check it out. Cause FIU actually brought it to them. It's pretty interesting. Let's go. The NFL.
FIU lost by 34 points. They didn't even score a point.
I'm telling you, they took it to them in that first half. I promise you, I wouldn't even brought it up. You know me, I definitely wouldn't have brought it up if I wasn't watching it, being like, wow, it was kind of shocking, to be quite frank with you. All right, let's go to the NFL, and we'll start with the NFL kickoff with the Eagles winning 24-20. Obviously, I was there at the game since we talked about it last week. It was a lot of fun. Love the city of Philadelphia, and just great stuff all the way around. Enjoyed the time while we were there. We even had a few Cowboys fans in our section. You know, they got a little harassed a little bit, but nothing crazy. So shout out to the people there. Obviously, before we got started, we had the Jalen Carter incident. So there's so much to kind of dive into this game. So first, let's just talk about that real quick, because quite frankly, being there, I had no clue what was going on. We actually went on Twitter to find out he got pulled out of the game because we had no idea what was going on. So I found that situation very interesting, because here we are, someone reacting. That's what always been the NFL. Like, you get the flag. It's a common thing. You know, you get punched in the face, you punch them back, you're the one that gets the foul. And that's kind of way I viewed this, where I'm like, now, how is it fair? Jalen Carter's kicked out of this game, but Dak really, let's be real, spit at him. Not on him, but in a mocking ass way. And then he just retaliated and he gets pulled from the game. So anyway, first, let's just talk about that. Ben, what's your thoughts on the Jalen Carter situation?
Yeah, it was weird. I was just, because at first I'm like, why is Jalen Carter walking off the field? And when he threw his hands up and then we finally saw it, I go, oh no, he didn't, cause it's one of those things you don't believe it till you see it. Like, man, you think he spit on him, national TV, in a timeout right in front of the ref. Oh, he did that. And he did do that. Oh, okay. And but I will say this about Dak. Dak could have easily ran from it, but this is what cameras do. Yeah, I spit. I spit on the ground. I didn't spit on him, and I didn't spit at him. And he did, and he made it about Jalen Carter being a good player. I guarantee you, Jalen Carter will never do that again, and you ain't gonna never hear from a player of that caliber spitting on each other. Jalen Carter, let me tell you something, man. I don't like nobody spitting at me, but do not spit on nobody, because man, that rubbed me the wrong way. When I saw it, I said, dude, people threaten to do that, right? Let me tell you something. The most mild-mannered, easygoing, God-fearing, humble, calm will beat the hell out of you if you spit on me. But Jalen Carter, he had a lot of controversial stuff when he got drafted. Incredible football player. He learned, though. I guarantee you he wanted to say more. When he was watching the game, they said, when you go to them cameras, don't say nothing stupid. There's nothing you can say to justify it. Say you did it. Say I shouldn't have done it. I learned from it. That's what's called being a professional, because he wanted to say more. He wanted to say he spit at me, but Dak said that. And it's a learning, it's a teaching moment. I ain't trying to act like I'm better than Jalen or Dak, but Dak was baiting him. Now Dak did bait him. And he took the bait. Like he took the bait. I guarantee you though, and I could be wrong, Jalen Carter wanted to spit at Dak, but it happened so fast. Like, dude, I'm gonna spit on this. Like it happened so quick, and he was walking towards him. Now, had he just stood back, I mean, and let's be honest. Are you ready to think they're going to throw Dak Prescott out the game? You think they're going to throw Dak? That ref, like, boy, you putting me in a compromising situation, dude. Like, I got to go home after this. You know what I'm saying? But we all learned from it. It was awful. It will never happen again. And, hey, man, Jalen Carter, man, make sure you ball against them Eagles, because everybody going to be they're going to be heckling you like crazy. So just get ready for that. You're going to see a whole bunch of, people with tobacco in their mouth, all kind of stuff. I don't know what they do in Kansas City, to be quite honest with you. I don't know what they do. But, yeah, it was crazy. But, it happened so early that it didn't really linger until the end of the game. We just watching the game. But, yeah, Jalen, don't do that ever again, young man. You'll learn from it, hopefully.
Justin, got any thoughts on it?
Yeah, I think the best thing they did is they didn't suspend him, because they found out that Dak actually spit in his direction first, kind of instigated the situation. But I said the same thing, Ben. I said the same thing on I think it was probably Sunday, maybe it was Friday. I said, literally, if you spit in my direction, if you try to spit on me, I don't care how big you fucking are, I'm going to throw hands with you. That is the utmost sign of disrespect. And I don't give a fuck if you are Jalen Carter size and I'm my size. I am going to throw fucking hands at you. You might knock me out, but you are going to feel whatever I've got coming first. So, that is obviously a maturation issue. And for what it's worth, some of the most immature guys coming through the draft process have always been some of the best football players. Mm-hmm. You take that risk, but you get them around a good core like the Eagles, and it usually ends up working out, because you get good players that are mature, smart players, get them around them. Put your arm around him, say, hey, man, like, let's get this going. You're a good player. We need you on the field. I think he's going to be just fine.
So I have my wife in the background trying to show me different angles of it now, yada, yada. So, I think you guys said it perfectly. And I think Jalen Carter at his press conference afterwards said the best things that he could have said. Quite frankly, he didn't push blame, and he just took ownership for it, which was the best part of it. So like you said, live and learn. But I still think if you're gonna punish Jalen, you should have punished Dak too. Quite frankly, because it was basically like you said, Ben, that Dak was saying in his press conference, oh yeah, but what I heard was, oh yeah, it wasn't me. I wouldn't have spit. It was like, come on, bro. Like, what you did. Like, you know what I mean? That's what I feel like he should have been owning up. Like, yeah, it was just heat of the moment, game, and that's what I felt really should have been said. But whatever, it is what it is. Let's talk about the game, because the game was interesting too. First of all, speaking of spitting on the ground, Dak Prescott looked good. Now, he didn't look good statistically, but in the game, he looked really good against this defense. So, what do you think of the game? Justin, we'll go to you first. What do you think of the game overall?
Yeah, I mean, I think it was a week one game, you know. You kind of had to change your game plan if you're Philly on defense. The run game started to be an option for Dallas, which we didn't think it was going to be. Dak looked on and off to me. I mean, I think some of his passes didn't look like it had the same zip, but, some of the stuff that he was doing with CeeDee Lamb was doing good. George Pickens looked like he was running crisp routes, so look out for him in the future. But, it looked like week one to me, just it was progressive football. These guys don't get time preseason. So, I was impressed that Javonte came out. I was unimpressed with the fact that the Eagles decided they weren't going to throw the ball at all, except to Dallas Goedert, which was weird because they never throw to him ever. So yeah.
So to your point, and at the game, of course, people were saying the exact same things in the crowd. So as a football analyst, I started to put that hat on. I started watching really the receivers as the plays went on. That's what it probably impressed me most was the Cowboys secondary. They were all over Devonta Smith and A.J. Brown. I was thinking the same thing. I thought, well, maybe they have a game plan, throw the tight ends, and then open things up in the second half. They weren't there. There was nobody for him to throw to. So that to me was really impressive. But Ben, what do you think?
No, I agree. When looking at going into the game, you know that when Dak Prescott is healthy, I mean, he's going to definitely keep you in games. George Pickens was on the side of a milk carton. He wasn't there. George Pickens, he was probably running Chris routes. He wasn't getting open. And I think the thing about Dak is Dak understood, look, man, I already had an incident. I better go out here and, get people's mind off of what just happened before the game even start. But this game came down to, number one, they made Saquon look very, very regular. I don't know if it was game plan or it was the first game. He did have the touchdown. Jalen Hurts, for people who don't know, he just wants to win. He don't care how it looks. Jalen Hurts is anti-fantasy football. He's anti-stats. He is pro-winning. I just want to win. And I think that's why people are saying, well, he's not that good of a quarterback. No, he's an incredible quarterback. He just don't care about stats. Most teams, if you take away their number one receiver, they're not gonna win the game. A.J. Brown had one catch. A.J. Brown I think he only had one throw the whole game. Saquon Barkley had 60 yards rushing, one touchdown. It was very, very pedestrian of him because if CeeDee Lamb got some stickum on his hands, I'm not saying they win the game, but that game was going to get very, very interesting. And I'm going to keep saying this about players. I don't care what you did in quarters 1, 2, and 3. If you can't do it in the fourth, it don't matter. Everybody, he was balling, but you got to come up with it. I don't want to hear that all. Look, post-game press conference, man, let me tell you something. If you don't think this is going to motivate me, who cares? You're supposed to be motivated out there. The game was over with, CD. And I think for this Dallas team, there are no more victories you lost. We ain't doing that. But they're going to be there. The Dallas Cowboys are going to be there because as long as Dak is healthy. And like I said, the Eagles, they're going to be there as well. I mean, if they can have a game like the Eagles had, like you mentioned, you know what I'm saying, Justin, they weren't really throwing the ball. They was kind of off on offense, and they still won. They still won the game. It was a good Thursday night game. It wasn't no blowout. I mean, we had some controversy when the game first started. Brian Schottenheimer, they didn't even show him on the sideline. Do not show him because no one knows who he is. Don't show the head coach of the Cowboys because we don't know who it is. They don't know if that's the head coach or the freaking water boy. That's the head coach, Brian Schottenheimer. But it was a good game. I'll take a good game. The NFC East show you why the rivalries matter because them guys play each other well. And hey, man, the Eagles got the first. We're gonna see what happens when they got to go down to Dallas. But Dak played well. Jalen Hurts don't care about playing well. He cares about winning. I don't care about all that other stuff, man. Y'all can have MVP regular seasons and the NFC Player of the Week. Did we win the game? Let's move on to game 2.
Yeah, the one thing, real quick thing I'll say too, is that I know the weather delay hurt the Eagles more than the Cowboys. If you recall, the Eagles just got the ball, I believe, on a fumble, interception, something, whatever it was. But there was a turnover on downs. They had the ball, and then the rain delay came. So I think that definitely hurt their momentum because, obviously fired up from the turnover. So I think that was a big issue too. And a fun statistical fact, the last time the Eagles won the Super Bowl, we also went up for the next regular season, start of the season game up. They played Atlanta, and the same thing happened, a weather delay in that game as well. So I don't know if it's me and wifey or it's just the way it played out, but crazy enough that happened twice now. All right, we'll move on to the Ravens-Bills game. And, obviously that was the game of the weekend. What a fun game. I remember we had to get up for our flight the next day at 3 a.m. So I was like, man, I got to go to sleep, but I can't go to sleep. But it's just like, oh my God. It was like once it got towards the end, I was like, okay, it looks like the Ravens are going to get this. And I started to drift off, and wife was like, yo, oh my God. And I was like, oh, what's happening? And luckily she woke me up to watch the rest of that. What a great game that was. So Ben, what was your thoughts on the Bills-Ravens game?
You want to know why Josh Allen won MVP? All you had to do is watch first game. That's why. Josh Allen, number one receiver, is Keon Coleman, who's in his second year. He had a good game. Most teams down 15 points, 40 to 25, that game was over with. It's a wrap. I don't care who it is. You know how many Bills fans on their way home, listen to the radio, checking these, be like, oh, turn around, we got to go back. This game came down to one thing. Derrick Henry. When he fumbled, that I said, see, all these yards, can't nobody stop you. Put the ball on the ground. It's game time. Now we got fans pushing DeAndre Hopkins, got fans, the same fan pushing Lamar Jackson. Let me tell y'all fans something. This is the rules of engagement. If you will not talk to me or talk trash to me or put your hands on me in real life, don't let the stadium fool you. Don't let the environment fool you, okay? Because guess who got to be professional and be poised even when being disrespected? The pro athletes. Because could you imagine if Lamar Jackson, who already frustrated because he lost, would have pulled him out the stands? Oh, now Lamar Jackson he's out of control. That's another conversation for another day. This is all about Josh Allen, Sean McDermott, and them Bills. If you are the Ravens, this is why people are afraid to say y'all gonna win the Super Bowl, because y'all cannot finish. Y'all got all these players. DeAndre Hopkins making one-handed catches. I think that was his only catch of the game, if I'm not mistaken. Derrick Henry, still one of the best running backs in the league. But when you put the ball on the ground, when you can't finish, it's going to be much. I judge Lamar Jackson on guys like Josh Allen, like Joe Burrow, like Patrick Mahomes, like Justin Herbert, like Jalen Hurts, best quarterbacks in the league. Well, he has the ability to beat them all, but I just think that if you're a Buffalo Bills fan, number one, that's not going to be a recipe for success, because if you get down by the Chargers like that, or the Bengals like that, or the Eagles like that, or the Chiefs, you're going to lose. There will be no comebacks. I don't care who you got, but that was a hell of a game. I mean, that's why you like football. But Baltimore got to find a way to close. Derrick Henry got to find a way to keep his hands on the football. And if you are Buffalo, you're going to have to find a way to stay in games, because your defense, what you got, Joey Bosa, the brother of Nick Bosa, they ain't stop nobody. That Buffalo defense did not stop anybody. They just got Josh Allen. So, great game, though. I thought when it was up by 15, the game was over. But in the league, anything can happen. And Josh Allen, he took his cape off. And I think he's going for that back-to-back MVP, or regular season MVP, playing like that.
He's on his way, that's for sure. Justin, what are your thoughts on it?
Yeah, I agree with Ben on that one. Everybody thought Lamar was the MVP last year, but nobody really delved into the fact that, dude, you got Derrick Henry. Dude, you got a great defense. Dude, you got Zay Flowers. You got Isaiah Likely. You got Mark Andrews. I can keep on naming people that you have on your team. No wonder you threw 41 touchdowns. Josh Allen has Khalil Shakir, who was a sixth-round pick at one point, has Keon Coleman, who didn't produce last year. We're waiting for him to produce this year, and he did, obviously, week one. And then he had Dalton Kincaid, who was underwhelming last year. He was throwing to so many different receivers. Everybody in fantasy was like, well, who's the option? Who's the option? Nobody, silly. Josh Allen is the option. Just stick with him, and you're good to go. Yeah, I completely agree with Ben on that aspect. There was no way you would give Lamar the MVP last year just based off of that. It's like giving the MVP to Pat Mahomes every single year when he had Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce. It's like, why would you do that? He's obviously set up to win. He's obviously set up to succeed. I love this game because I actually did go to bed. I was like, I had to get up early in the morning. I had to go to work. I had a long ass fucking day. So I was just like, you know what? I saw Zay Flowers going like this, and I said, all right, I'm done. This game is a wrap. And then I came out, and I was just like, oh, that's kind of cool. I saw it on sports, and I was just like, I felt like I was dialed in with it because Derrick Henry fumbled the ball. Freaking, they couldn't get anything going after that point pretty much. And I was just like, that seems like the Ravens right there. When it comes down to it, they can beat every shitty team to get into the playoffs, and they can beat every shitty team on the road to the Bills or the Chiefs, but they just can't knock that door down.
Yeah, it's so true. But I will say, we said it when we previewed this game. It was going to be last team that had the ball was going to win, and sure the hell, that's what it was. That's what happened. So, yeah, it was a good one. All right, so a lot of other games we'll be taking all night if we talked about it. So I'll just ask you guys real quick, what was your biggest your takes from this weekend's games? Just a play or players or team you want to talk about? Ben, we'll go to you.
I mean, I know we already talked about my Gators. I don't know if that was the real Daniel Jones and the Colts and the fake Miami Dolphins. I don't know. Because I don't know. Daniel Jones is doing stuff that's never been done in football. 7 straight drives, 7 straight. I will say this, though. Tua and Tyreek, they're going to have to get their relationship because they're the ones that make it go. They make the whole team go. Mike McDaniels at a press conference, he be looking he just be looking like it's all the way over with. That stood out to me. But another game that really stood out to me, man, I mean, Jordan Love and they made the Lions look like they haven't been good ever. I'm like, what is going on with the freaking Lions and what's going on? I know that Michael Parsons had a sack against Penei Sewell. That stood out to me. And a team that might be the best in their division, but they got a problem, and that is Houston. Houston got a problem. Their offense look. Nick Chubb is the starting running back. Nick Collins, I mean, people finally realized, we can cover him. Like, he's not a number one. He's a number one for Houston, but he's like a number 2 or number 3 at best on any other team. I think, that, and unfortunately, here's my fandom coming out. Young Way Cool for the Falcons. What the hell, man? 40 yards? Come on, man. Really? Like, and listen, every year I read this book before the NFL season. It's called Kickers Are People Too. And I got to read it again because they starting to bother me. They'll kick a 70-yarder in the preseason and can't kick a 50. That's a game. It's plenty of games, but that's the one that stood out to me. Oh, and y'all Saints fans talking about we almost said y'all gonna be the number 1 pick in the draft. The Saints will be the number 1 pick in the draft. I'm just telling y'all, it's gonna be a long year for them Saints.
Mm-hmm. Justin, your biggest takeaways from the NFL weekend?
Yeah, I mean, it's just, I don't know if I just know nothing about football, but literally week 1 will always shock you. It always gives you that little shock treatment to make you think, oh, this is what's going to happen. And then the next week is like, this is when the real season happens. So I don't know what to think of it. I want to say the Saints are the worst team, but then also my inclination is the Panthers look pretty fucking bad too. And against the Jaguars to top it all off, that's not a great defense to look that bad against. And, obviously the 49ers have injury issues up the wazoo. Not happy about that. The Dolphins, I'm sorry, Jay. If you guys might be in for a complete and absolute rebuild, starting with the firing of the coach, because, Ben, you're absolutely right. They need Tyreek Hill to run that offense. But that's what happens when you hire Mike McDaniel, and the only claim to fame that he has is making an offense revolve around one player, and that was Deebo Samuel. So when you make your offense revolve around one player, the fuck with everything else, right? So I'm sorry. I think it's a rebuild year for those guys. Maybe get a new quarterback. But overall, it was nice to see some of the rookies start to show out. Mecca Ibuka, Tyler Warren, some of these guys that legitimately had the preseason heat behind them actually showed that they are the real deal. Because sometimes the preseason heat will lie to you. It'll absolutely lie to you. It'll tell you something that you thought was true, and it'll be false. Like Tank Bigsby, for instance. Everybody's like, Tank Bigsby was going to be a thing. Now he's in Philly. He's going to rot in a freaking cabinet with the trophies because everybody thought he was going to be the guy. And here's Travis Etienne with 180 yards, like out of nowhere. Like, cool. But I think that's probably a good wrap up of week one, but I could definitely go on for more.
Yeah, we could go on. There was so much that happened. I'll just have one quick take on America's fart, which is the Miami Dolphins. I mean, listen, at the end of the day, I'm never, if you've watched any of the podcasts I've done, I've never been the guy to fire the coach. But let me tell you something, that for an NFL team to show up and be an absolute embarrassment. I mean, literally from offense to defense, there wasn't just one phase. It was everywhere. It was an embarrassment. And I think Xavier Howard, an old Dolphin, was now on the Colts, came out in the press and said that basically what they did was take away Tua's first read, and he was lost afterwards. So to me, that's not necessarily all on Tua. That's a fucking coaching problem, because how do you not adjust to that? That, to me, is what really aggravated me, is there was no adjustments. This is famous for Mike McDaniels. There's been many a times where we've been up in a game and all of a sudden the other team comes back because they figure things out, and there's no adjustments on our side. And I don't know how many times the Dolphins have got flagged or had to call a timeout through the years that he's been there for delay a game, for not bringing the play in time. I don't know how many they did. The one score they had to call a timeout on the 2-point conversion. What is going on? So anyway, to me, I think the team has lost the message. I'm done with it. Like I said, it's the same offense. Why are we not doing anything different? It doesn't make sense. So whatever. We'll see. Hopefully there's a little bit of a bounce back this week, which is what I'm hoping for. Just something to show that you have some kind of testicles down there. That's the best way I could say it. All right, let's talk about what we're going to watch this week in college.
Don't worry, Ben. No weddings here. I just want to know what college game to watch this week.
All right, we got some good ones this week. Number 6, Georgia versus number 15, Tennessee. Georgia leads overall series 29-23-2. They won the last meeting last year, they won 31-17. That actually makes it 8 in a row for the Bulldogs. Ben, who wins this and why?
Man, I think this is going to come down to, can this Tennessee offense move the ball against this Georgia defense? They might have the best linebacker core in the country. Coach Heupel has always had a high-powered offense since he's got to Tennessee, but it always got shut down when he had to play against them Georgia boys. I know they switched quarterbacks. The quarterback they had used to be in UCLA. The one at UCLA is now they started quarterback. Georgia says we don't got Carson Beck, but we still moving this train down the track. Georgia looked very normal against Austin Peay. I don't know if they was like, we know we're going to win the game, so let's save our energy for next week. But Tennessee hasn't beaten Georgia in a while. I think Tennessee's offense is going to show up, but I think Georgia's offense is going to show up against that Tennessee defense. Give me Georgia to stick to their winning ways. Different year, same result for them Dogs.
Justin, what you think?
8 consecutive wins. 8 consecutive wins Georgia has over Tennessee. I mean, it's interesting because they pretty much traded for the UCLA quarterback. Joey Aguilar was at UCLA. Nico Amaliva went and left for UCLA, and here he is, 0-2. And Joey Aguilar seems like he's actually guiding this offense way better than Nico was. It's going to be interesting. Gunnar Stockton, that was who really looked pedestrian last week. Ben was talking about looking pedestrian against Austin Peay. Gunnar Stockton looked very pedestrian from his first week where he was just absolutely on fire, scoring 2 rushing touchdowns. So it's going to be a lot on Gunnar Stockton to try and prove that he is not just a pedestrian quarterback and that he is somebody who can actually lead this team on a national title run. And on the other side, it's going to be a lot on, is Joey Aguilar really a thing? Because if he's a real thing, then there's a real chance that Tennessee can break that losing streak this week.
I like it. I like it. I think, I'm going to go Georgia just because they look better ranked. No, I'm just kidding. Tennessee right now, I think personally, I don't know what I'm saying. You know what? I'm bubbling at the mouth right now. See, that's when the gummies are hitting, Justin. That's when you know. Let's go to the next one. 18th ranked South Florida Bulls versus the number 5 University of Miami Hurricanes. Please, Lord, this is all I have left. Miami leads the series 6-1. Miami won the last meeting last year 50-15. It's been 4 in a row for the Canes. Justin, you already mentioned it, but are you going to pick them this week? Who do you think wins?
No, I'll pick Miami this week. Miami's got a lot more weapons. I do like Bynum Brown. I think it's a great story, but I think that the weapons will win out with Miami this week.
I like it. What do you say, Ben?
Yeah, perception will definitely become reality real quick for them Bulls. It's been a nice first 2 games with my Gators being their second win. But Carson Beck and company, Mario Cristobal no good and well. He ain't finna lose no USF, especially if USF beating Florida Miami back-to-back weeks. That would be the story of college football for the first 3 weeks. I think the Bulls are going to play them tough, but I think reality's going to hit them. And, yeah, it's going to be them boys in green and orange from Coral Gables, not them boys from Tampa. Give me Miami.
Like I said, this is all I got. I'm all in. Go Canes. All right, let's go with the next one I got here. Number 16, Texas A&M, going to number 8, Notre Dame. Notre Dame leads the series 4-2. Last meeting was last year, actually. Notre Dame won 23-13. So, Ben, who you got in this one?
I know that this Notre Dame team is trying to come off that big week 1 loss against your Miami Hurricane. They finna lose again. Texas A&M is the team that nobody's talking about in the SEC because they wanted to beat Georgia. They wanted to beat, they wanted to beat Texas. They wanted to beat Ole Miss. They wanted to beat LSU. Texas A&M is coming, and Notre Dame finna realize, hey, I know y'all playing the ACC, and I know y'all thought y'all toughest matchup was gonna be Miami this year. No, it's gonna be them boys from College Station. I got Texas A&M going into Notre Dame, coming out with a big dub. Give me them boys from College Station.
I like it. Justin, what say you?
I 100% agree. Le'Veon Mars, Marcel Reed, Kevin Casey Concepcion, and Carver, the freshman. Oh, I love it. I think it's going to be – I think Notre Dame really is missing out because they're an independent on having teams really test them during the year. I think they're a lot of hype this year. I think it goes straight flat this week. And I think I'm actually going to go with Texas A&M winning by 10.
Ooh, I like that. I like that a lot. Yeah, I always love to see upsets. So, I mean, this is going to be – I wasn't really thinking in that perspective, to be quite frank with you. I'm all like, oh, they're going to bounce back. But now I'm you guys made the argument for me. I like Texas A&M. I'm going to go ahead and pull for them as well this weekend. So it'll be interesting to see for sure if they can pull this out over a team that really needs a big win for their season. All right, well, that's what we're watching in college this week. Let's talk about the NFL.
You all are terrible. Even the boys from No Weddings in the Fall didn't pick you to win.
All right, let's start out with a Thursday night delight. Ooh, I can't believe, I feel like this is like shouldn't be on Thursday. It's too quick in a week. This is going to be a good one right here. We got the Packers versus the Commanders in Washington. Of course, Packers lead this series 22-17 and won. Actually, the Commanders won their last matchup. It was in 2022 and they won 23-21. Packers right now favored by 1.5 away favors, believe it or not. What do you say, Ben? Who wins this one and why?
Man, I love Jaden Daniels. I do not think he's going to have a sophomore slump. I think him and Kip Kingsbury are going to have something going. But there's some familiar foe, except now he's wearing that green and gold. That would be Michael Parsons. He's going to look up and say, Jaden, I know I'm no longer in the NFC East, but I ain't going nowhere, young man. Jordan Love is playing really, really good football right now. Zaire Alexander is no longer in Green Bay. They ain't missing him. This is going to be a good game. The Commanders going to have to find a way to get – I know they gave Scary Terry that money. They're going to have to find a way to give him the ball, to keep him happy. But I think it's going to be Jordan Love and company. I just think top to bottom they're a better team. I think Jaden Daniels is about as good as advertised as far as like a quarterback. He can't do it all by himself. Give me Jordan Love and company going to the nation's capital, coming out 2-0.
Ooh-wee. What you think, Justin?
Yeah, I was a little worried that they didn't blow away the Giants, especially with how bad Russell was playing. So I am going to agree. I'm going to go with the Pack. I think the Pack is back in this game.
Yeah, this is so tough because I'm expecting Washington to play a little better. And, sometimes that big high of a divisional game between, what the Packers just did to the Lions might bring them down. But, God, you cannot dismiss how good that defense looked. So with the defense, I'm going to go with the Packers in this one as well. Going to be a good one, though. I'm ready for this one. All right, let's go to Bears at Lions. Chicago leads the series 105-80-5. The Lions swept them last year 34-17 and 23-20. Justin, let's go to you. Who wins this and why?
Which game was this one again? I'm sorry. I was looking up.
Okay, Bears at the Lions. It's all right.
Bears at the Lions. I'm going to go with the Bears on this one. I think the Bears can come out and really – sorry, my dog's being an asshole.
We think so, too.
Really put an ass whooping on them. The ass whooping they should have gotten from the Vikings, I think that would be delivered this week by the Bears. What are you doing?
Indeed. What do you think, Ben?
Listen, I'm definitely going with the Lions. There is no way the Lions finna start off 0-2. Caleb Williams – is showing some improvements. Still not getting the ball to Roma Dunze like I thought he would. I think this Bears defense is very, very underrated. I think they're a really, really good defense. I just think that Dan Campbell and company, they just ran into a buzzsaw week 1 against Jordan Love. They didn't see it going that way, but it did go that way. I got the Lions with that too. Get the running game going. Where was Montgomery and Gibbs? What in the world was they doing or not doing? I'm going to go with the Lions. Amon St. Brown, Gibbs, Aiden Hutchinson, James Wilson. They got too many weapons for Detroit to look pedestrian like they did. I don't know if that's because the Packers are real good. They're trying to find their way. They will find their way this week, starting tomorrow night against some Chicago boys. Caleb gonna take another step. Ben Johnson gonna take another step. But Dan Campbell said, "Forget taking steps. We finna step on y'all. Give me them Lions."
Yeah, Lions, losing 2 coordinators is nothing to shake your head at. I mean, it's an obvious tell right now that they're struggling a little bit. Like you said, where was the running game, the offensive play calling? But even with all that said, the Bears are better. They're just not better than the Lions. So I'm going to go Lions, especially at home in this one. All right, let's go Buffalo Bills at the Jets. You notice I don't say stinky anymore. Because my team's the stinky one. Buffalo leads the series 71-58. Buffalo swept them last year 40-14 and 23-20. They won 3 in a row in the series. Ben, who's winning this one?
I got Buffalo winning this game because they just got a better team. But I got the Jets being right there in the thick of it. Justin Fields, I mean, he looked really, really good in that offense. I want to see Keon Coleman versus Sauce Gardner. I think that's going to be the matchup to see. James Cook versus Quentin Williams. Is that Quentin Williams' brother at linebacker? Right, that's his brother, right?
Quincy,
yeah. That's great.
Yeah, it's him.
Mama could just come to Jersey. She don't got to worry about, But this is a different Jets team. Aaron Glenn's entire persona and makeup is all over this team. He ain't got Josh Allen. So Josh Allen plays for Buffalo. I'm gonna go with Buffalo, even though the Jets are gonna play him tough.
I like it. What do you think, Justin?
Could you imagine if Mama pushed out a safety too? Like, goddamn. The Jets be paying her big money. I'm gonna go with the Bills, man. I don't even think the Bills have necessarily the better team, but they have the all-world player. Like, when when it all comes down to it, the Jets have a good defense, but they're just never good enough against Josh Allen. Like, Josh Allen always finds a way to carve him up. I think that stays the same. And, Justin Fields, for what it's worth, he's good. I think they're going to stay in this game, but I think it's going to come down to mistakes. And I think the person who's going to make more mistakes is going to be Justin Fields rather than Josh Allen.
Yeah, Bills favored 8.5 in this game. I'm obviously taking the Bills. I wouldn't take it with that over. I would go under in this one. I could see the Jets, getting 3 to 4 points within. I don't see an 8.5 game here at all. All right, let's go next one. Seahawks at the Steelers. Steelers lead the series 11-10. They won the last meeting 30-23. That was back in 23. They've won 2 in a row in the series. So let's go. Justin, you first. Who wins this and why?
Say that game again.
Seahawks at the Steelers.
Seahawks at the Steelers. I think I'm going to take the Steelers on this one. DK Metcalf's revenge game. Gotta love. Also for me, actually, no, I'm sorry. I took the Hawks on this one. I'm lying on my pick'ems. So Hawks for me, it was indication of probably some coaching problems that are going on there on the offensive side. Hopefully it gets together. I did like the way Charbonnet ran the ball. Ken Walker disappeared in that game against the 49ers. I wonder if he's still dealing with some injuries. But Jackson Smith and Jigba, 10 catches. Dude's on fire. I'm going to go with the Seahawks and, remembering through all these texts, my mindset was the Steelers did not look good on defense, and I think the Seahawks did actually look good on defense. So I think that it's going to be a really close game, probably not as big of a game as the Jets-Bills, or not the Jets-Steelers was, so probably around like 20-17. I think the Hawks take it.
I like it. What do you think, Ben?
Man, I'm going to go with the Hawks as well. I think with the Jets just exposed, ain't nobody scared of this vaunted secondary of the Pittsburgh Steelers. You got Joey Porter Jr., you got Jalen Ramsey. You talk about Darius Slay. Who cares? Justin Fields was ripping them up. And Sam Darnold, what he's going to do, he's going to play within the confines of the offense. He's going to let Jackson Smith go out there and do what he does, get the running game going. But the Seahawks defense is good, ladies and gentlemen. If you haven't guessed, that was the luckiest touchdown ever from a tight end that only had 3 career catches. His first career touchdown happened on Sunday. That won't happen this week because guess what the Seahawks know? They know who DK Metcalf is. They know get under his skin. DK Metcalf he is the most sensitive football player you've ever seen. He will fight anybody. He can't wait to get in the fight. He looks for a reason to do 2 things: get in the fight and take his shirt off. And if he can't do one or the other, he pissed. So for me, I think that the Seahawks they are building that culture. Coach McDonald, the head coach, he got a nice culture going on. Give me the Hawks to go on the road to Pittsburgh and get a dub. And Sam Darnold looking over saying, hey, Aaron Rodgers, yeah, you're one of my favorite players. Yeah, not when I'm playing against you, though. I'm talking about on Madden. Give me the Hawks.
We're all 3 in agreement on this one. I like Seahawks as well. I saw them getting to Aaron Rodgers this weekend, and I think they're going to get to him big time. Seahawks will. So, yeah, I agree with you guys. I like the Seahawks in this one also. All right, let's go. Bucks at Houston. Texans lead the overall series 5-1. Houston won the last meeting in 23, 39-37. They won 5 in a row, the Texans. Ooh, can't believe that. Ben, what do you think? Who wins this and why?
I got the Bucks. The thing about the Houston Texans is they got a problem right now. I know they got Will Anderson Jr. I know they got Danielle Hunter. I know they got Petrie. I know they got Chauncey Gardner-Johnson. All they got on offense is Nick Chubb. They got C.J. Stroud. I guess they got one of the worst receiving cores in the National Football League right now. Tampa Bay got a rookie, Mecca. The boy, I had the boy on my freaking bench on my fantasy team, and I am pissed because he had 2 touchdowns. 2 touchdowns on Sunday against my Falcons. I just think that what happens is when the best culture in the NFC South meets the best culture in the AFC South, I'm going to go with the sure thing, and that's Baker Mayfield and company. Mike Evans is still making plays. Vita Vea is still stuffing the run. Right? Antoine Winfield Jr. is still making plays in the secondary. And Levante David is literally the Michael Jordan of linebackers. The dude ain't going to never stop playing. He going to keep making plays. Give me the Bucks over them boys from Houston.
But Justin, what do you think?
Levante David and Bobby Wagner. Never going to give it up. Never going to give it up. Always going to be all pros. I think it's going to come down to Christian Kirk. I think if Christian Kirk gets in there, I think the Texans will kind of change it up. I don't know what the hell was going on. I harping to think that, CJ Stroud is really becoming that bad and becoming that stale. He just kind of looks like maybe the team doesn't know how to play their wide receivers. I would think, maybe Nico doesn't need to just be running like shorter routes. Maybe he needs to be taken off a little bit longer, maybe get Jaden Higgins involved more as the X, and then maybe kind of like, with Christian Kirk coming back, put him primarily in the slot, not on the perimeter. But they need to figure something out. They have too good of a team, in my opinion, to be that bad against the Rams. They just look pitiful. I think Stroud literally was passing for like 5 yards a clip, which is freaking outrageous for the weapons they have out there. I'm going to pick the Texans on this one because I believe in the rebound this week.
I like it. I'm going to go with the Bucs in this one. Like I said, they ended the season hot, although, obviously didn't make it all the way. Came out. I mean, the Falcons are good. Let's not like waste that game, push that game aside. NFC South opponent. I like the Bucs a lot. And, it's always like Houston, we have a problem. There's always seems to be some kind of problem in Houston. I don't know what's going on. I agree with both of you. Both were like, I don't know. I feel you. I don't know neither. This should be all set up for them to do their thing, and they're just not doing their thing right now. So I agree. I like the Bucs in this one also. All right, here's the big one of the weekend. Eagles at the Chiefs. How's this not Sunday night? I don't get it. Series is tied 6-6. How about that? Super Bowl rematch, obviously. Eagles won last year in the Super Bowl 40-22. It's been 2 in a row for them. So, Justin, who's winning this one and why?
This got to be the game of the week, right? Like Fox's game of the week. But anyways, I went with the Eagles with this one. It's just kind of for me, it's the fact that the Chiefs are too banged up. You're taking out your own players at this point. Hollywood Brown is a nice piece, but how long does he really hold up? He has an extensive injury history himself. Kelsey is just getting older. Pacheco is still working his way back from the ACL. Patrick Mahomes, he just seemed like he was doing a lot against a team that maybe if he was at full capacity weapons-wise, he wouldn't have had to in the Chargers last week. I think the Chargers were good, but I think that if the Chiefs had Rashee Rice and Xavier Worthy played the entire game, it probably wouldn't have been a close game. I think they probably would have gotten at least a 10-point win on that one. So I'm going to go with the Eagles, fully healthy. A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith get more involved in this game.
I like it, man. What you think?
Man, listen. One of my favorite boxers of all time, Roy Jones Jr. Right, because when he was him, he was him. But he tried to rap, and he had this song called "Y'all Must Have Forgot," and that's what's gonna happen on Sunday. I think what the Eagles are gonna do, the Eagles say, "Look, people think we soft. People think we ain't got it no more. People think we care about the people getting engaged and Travis Kelce." I know that Patrick Mahomes sounds like Kermit the Frog when he talks. He does. That's how his voice sounds. He sounds like Kermit the Frog. Don't blame me. That's how he does. Patrick Mahomes looks like a real adult now. He got a real haircut. It ain't a mohawk. He's growing up. I think the Eagles play tough, but I think what Patrick Mahomes is gonna show the world again is, hey man, I can do this football thing. I can do it at a high level, and nobody improvises like he does. Now, when he's good, he's good. But Patrick Mahomes knows I got to do it against a team that beat me. Because if I keep losing to the team that beat me, people ain't gonna care about the teams I beat. Yeah, I know you can beat them. Can you beat the Eagles? So it's gonna be a good game. Plus, once again, Jalen Hurts and company, they don't got revenge on their mind. They got having the best record in the NFC. Having the playoffs have to come through Lincoln Financial. So for all those reasons, I think the Chiefs need this more than the Eagles, just from a perception standpoint. So give me the Chiefs.
I mean, all that is a great argument. I mean, don't see them going 0-2. They got the revenge. I mean, I feel you on all of that. But the bottom line is the Philadelphia Eagles are the best team in the NFL. So, but I think, honestly, when you're looking at this game, I think you're going to see, you guys both mentioned it, this Eagles offense, I think you're going to see a little more opened up. And I think Justin made the biggest point as this Chiefs offense is too beat up right now. Hollywood Brown's your main guy, bro. Like, really? And you might, for fantasy perspective, I'd definitely smash start Travis Kelce this week because I think he'll definitely be one of the bigger guys involved in this.
What's the Eagles linebacker? Bond? Is his name Bond?
I think. I think.
Zach Bond. Zach Bond.
Number 53. That's gonna be the matchup. It's gonna be him and Bond going at it. Bond, ladies and gentlemen, was brought on last year to be a special teamer. He was a freaking first team All-Pro. What is going on in Philly? If the Philadelphia Eagles trade for one more player, I'm gonna lose my freaking mind. If Howie Roseman trade for one, he got Tank Bigsby and a bag of potato chips, and ain't nobody said a word. Man, I'm getting sick of this dude. I am sick of him, man. He is working all the time, man. He like the James Brown of freaking GMs. Go to bed. But he did go to Florida, so I can understand the work ethic. I can understand.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting. But listen, let me tell you guys before we close out. Dude, don't be like Ben. Don't have a Meko Buka in your bench because
he was a rookie. I didn't know.
You know how I know? You know how I know how Ben don't watch my show, TSS Fantasy? Because he would have never had him on a bench if you're watching TSS. So make sure you tune in Friday night. We're going to break it all down for you, 9 o'clock right here on That Sports Podcast Network. Of course, wake up with us on Sunday morning at 8 a.m. We get you ready for all the NFL action with NFL pick'ems. We got betting advice. We got it all on Sunday morning, so make sure you check us out. All right, we're going to close it out with our boy, Ben Troupe. He's got his Skadoop of the week. Appreciate y'all.
I don't know about you, but I'm ready for Ben Troupe's Skadoop of the week.
Excuse me. What up, my good people? I am Ben Troupe, and I appreciate you guys taking time out to, check me out on No Weather in the Fall. Ladies and gentlemen, football is back. But I want to address something. And it ain't Jalen Carter spitting on Dak Prescott. It ain't even DeAndre Hopkins and Lamar Jackson getting, assaulted by a freaking fan. It is Jim Irsay's daughter, who is now the owner of the Colts. She tried something new. She was actually on the sideline with a headset on, and everybody was in an uproar. They weren't in an uproar because she was on the sideline. They weren't in an uproar because she's the owner on the sideline. They was in an uproar because she's a woman. We need to cut that stuff out, people. At the end of the day, we need to stop saying, why are women in sports who never played football? You know how many people who talk about football never played? You know how many people who cover football that never played? Skip Bayless is one of the most famous sports writers ever, and he never played. Fellas, ladies, everybody who are onlookers and lovers of the sport, do me a favor. Let's start supporting women. Let's not make it about their gender, and let's make it about their intellect. The young lady is the owner, and she was on the sideline. You know why you really scared she's on the sideline? Because you think Jerry Jones going to say, oh, shoot, I could be on the sideline with a headset. Ain't nobody trying to see that. But do yourself a favor. If you do nothing else, don't get married in the fall. But make sure you check out all episodes of No Weddings in the Fall. I am Ben Troupe. Make sure I don't catch you in there because I just read up on some baby powder. Buy one, get one free. We out of here.